Hey, what's going on everybody? So I'm just here to answer the single most important question of the new year. Should you buy the Sony A7 III in 2023? To answer that question, it's pretty easy. I personally would buy this camera in 2023. I've been saying it for years, but this is literally the perfect camera for beginners. It's got a 24 megapixel sensor, which captures extremely sharp images. It also shoots in 4K, which looks extremely crispy. And honestly, part of the reason I think that it's the best beginner camera on the market is because of how easy it is to learn. The settings are super easy to find and figure out. It's perfect for portraits, landscapes, street photography. It also does great in low light situations, and you can take some incredible long exposures with this camera. There's really not many areas that this camera doesn't do well. Now, it doesn't have some of the newer gadgets that cameras like the A7 IV have, where they can distinctively track subjects' eyes and make sure they get a perfectly sharp focus. But honestly, I don't think many photographers need that. Where the Sony A7 III lacks in that department, it can make up for it by just autofocusing on those things and kind of doing that manually as the photographer. Because the autofocus on the A7 III is still really great. It's just not going to be focusing on a bird's eye that's 200 feet away or something like the A7 IV can do. But honestly, with the amount of amazing lenses that Sony offers, you can kind of make up for that. And my favorite lens to pair with this camera is the Sony 24-70 2.0. It's literally my favorite lens on the market right now. Its autofocus is fantastic. It's a bit pricey, it's about $2,300. But if you're buying a cheaper camera body, such as the Sony A7 III, it is kind of worth it to go that extra mile and purchase a more expensive lens just to make up for that difference. If you get a really nice lens with a pretty decent camera body, you're still gonna be able to capture some really amazing stuff. Plus, if you buy it used, it's really not that expensive. The Sony A7 IV ranges from $2,000 to $2,500, where the Sony A7 III ranges from $1,000 to $1,500. And honestly, I've had my Sony A7 IV for about 2 months, and I'm not entirely convinced that it's that much better or worth that much more than the Sony A7 III. The video on this camera also just is really crisp, really clear. The only problem that I do have with it is it doesn't shoot in 4K 60. The best it does is 4K 30, which is still great, but for me, and I've kind of mentioned it before in other videos, for my work, I need to be able to shoot in those higher frames per second, just so I am able to slow down the video in post. But if you're just a beginner and you're not really in need of these really high frame rates that you probably don't really need unless you're a professional videographer or photographer, I think it's a perfect camera for you. I mean, other than that little gripe, I have no complaints about the A7 III's video, and I think it's more than qualified to shoot some high-level, high-quality video in 2023. I think in general, this is a great camera to buy in 2023. It's not at the point where it's really expensive like it was when it first came out, but it's also not like top of the line, best of the best. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, and it's gonna be a camera that you don't have to upgrade for a long period of time. This is a great camera that holds up super well today, and if you guys wanna check it out, I have some links down in my description, as well as some of the other products that I mentioned in this video, such as the Sony 24-70 G Master lens. So if you guys wanna check those out, please go click on those links. Amazon shoots me a couple bucks if you do purchase something from those links. So if you do that, I really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel a lot. But if not, that's cool too. Anyways, with that, that's gonna be it for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.